Good evening and welcome to the South County Fire Board of Commissioners regular board meeting for November 18, 2025. I'll go ahead and call us to order. Ask everybody here to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, board members, you have in front of you the draft agenda for the evening. There are no changes for it. Is there anything else for the agenda? If not, I'll move the adoption of the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'm second.
Second by Commissioner Chan. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That takes us forward then to the consent agenda, which is includes item number 4A and 4B. That's items November 8th. The A, 4A is November 18, 2025 claims vouchers totaling $1,273,847.29. And in 4B, the October 2025 payroll summary and authorization. I'll move the adoption of those two items of the consent agenda. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Commissioner Wittes. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the consent agenda items? Any discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That moves us forward in the agenda then to item number 5, which is approval of the meeting minutes. And in 5A, we have the November 5, 2025 regular meeting minutes. I'll move the adoption of those November 5, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Teofilak. It's been moved and seconded to adopt those meeting minutes, November 5, 2025. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes unanimously. That moves us forward in the agenda to item number 6, which is public comment. We'll start first in the room. Is there any request for public comment? First in the room, then we'll go to our Zoom online platform. Any request for public comment here in the room? Any requests for public comment in the room? Not seeing any requests for public comment in the room. We'll move then to our Zoom platform, and I'll ask Ms. Blankenship to check for me. Is there any request for public comment on the Zoom platform?
There is not.
No, very good. Thank you, Ms. Blankenship. I'll come back to the room for one last ask. Is any request for public comment in the room? Not seeing any. Thank you. We will move forward then in the agenda to item number 7, which is the Fire Chief's report. Good evening, Chief Eastman.
Good evening, Commissioner Kenny, commissioners, liaisons, staff, and the public. We don't have a whole lot for the chief's report tonight. I'll turn it over to Christy, and Christy will give you the bulk of the report tonight. Thanks.
Good evening, commissioners. So I just wanted to let you guys know about some upcoming winter events that we have that we're very excited about that are going to be happening across our community. So we are going to do something a little new this year, and that is we're having an open house in December. It's called Holiday at the Fire Station, and that's going to be at Silver First Fire Station 13. It's a chance to meet your firefighters, take some festive photos in front of the fire engine, learn about how to keep your home safe this holiday, have some cookies and hot cocoa, and also bring a gift if you are so inclined for a teen or a child that will be in need this holiday season. So we hope to have a good turnout for that event. We're looking forward to that. We also have the Mill Creek Santa Parade coming up on December 6th in the town center. That's always a big one for us, so we're excited to participate. There's several tree lightings going on. One is in Edmonds. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And then we have one in Mount Lake Terrace on the 5th of December and in Briar on the 6th of December. And just to let everyone know, the Real Heroes breakfast put on by the Red Cross is actually a luncheon this year. And so it's going to be December 11th at the Tulalip Casino, and that's going to be from 11 to 1. If anyone would like to sit at the table that we've got, please let Outreach know. And then just one other thing I wanted to share is our ACT class has gotten very close to reaching another milestone. Periodically, I get to come here and share the good news that we've reached thousands more people with our ACT program, which teaches people antidote, CPR, and AED use and tourniquet all in 1 hour, and it's all free. We do have 2 classes tomorrow, and I really would love people to sign up because we are just under 800 people away from reaching 35,000 people trained by ACT. So if you are so inclined, you can sign up. The classes online. It is happening at 11 a.m. and there's another class at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So we'd love for people to sign up. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
That's all we have for the chief's report tonight, Commissioner Kenny.
Very good, thank you, Chief. Any questions for the board members for Chief Eastman on the chief report?
For the
Commissioner
ACT,
Teofilo,
sorry,
go ahead.
for the ACT class, can you take it in person if you want?
You can register to take it in person. Those events are offered periodically, or if a business or a large group wants to request a class in person, we usually do them for 30 or more, but we will do those in person.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I just want to comment.
Commissioner Chan, go ahead.
Christy, I think you always know that this is important, all the event going on. It is really outreach to our constituents, what I say, actually our customer. That's great. Thank you for keeping up the good work.
Any other questions from the board members? Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that moves us forward on the agenda to item number 8, which is the union report. And we have Local 1828's political director, Connor Holtum, on Zoom with us. Good evening. Can you? He's frozen. Is he frozen? Oh,
Sorry, I'm
there we
having
go.
some internet challenges. Can y'all hear me?
Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Good evening, commissioners and staff and guests. Thanks for having me back to give the union report. Our members, we have some members that are a little concerned about the cost sharing measures discussed on the healthcare policy last week. That being said, the Joint Healthcare Committee is looking forward to getting those meetings going again and working forward on a solution that's going to work well for everybody involved. So that's what I got from the union side tonight, and thank you all for your hard work.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Political Director Holtum? Great, thank you so much. All right, that moves us forward then in the agenda to new business. So item 9A, which is the revised ILA with Surfer for the Community Paramedic Program. And I believe we're going to have Deputy Chief Joe Hughes with us tonight. Good evening, Chief Hughes.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me tonight. So this is just the next couple items are first touch items for you guys for discussion. First item tonight is the renewal of the ILA for CRP services with Surfer. So what had happened here this last year, as you guys remember, we entered into an ILA with them to help them stand up a CRP program modeled after our robust and really well-oiled operating machine that we have for a CRP program. So this last year we did that. We helped them out. We got it off the ground, and it's working out wonderfully. So this year, where they are pivoting a little bit, is they are going to add. They've seen the success on our side with our community health worker program, and that's inspired Surfer to try to want to stand up a community health worker program as well. So the change in this year's Exhibit A on the ILA is basically moving around. We're kind of remodeling this to help them with the community health worker program. And part of the Exhibit A from last year was that there was a response element for our CRPs to respond after business hours, because their CRP over there is a 40-hour week position. So we had entered into that last year, but the reality is we responded over there for CRP services less than 10 times. So that's not really working out for either party. So we reworked it here this year to where we're going to reduce a little bit of the terms from, they were paying, I believe, roughly 8% of the community resource paramedic program's budget. to now this year, they're going to split the cost of our record management system called Health Call. And they're also going to pay for about 10% of the overhead for our administrative support in the CRP office, as she will be intaking clients and putting them into that records management system and handing out tasks for their community health worker and their community resource paramedic. That's the gist of this ILA. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Questions from the board members on the proposed ILA with Surfer? No questions? Okay. Chief Hughes, were we going to have this on for action at the next meeting?
I believe so.
Yes, sir. We would be
All right.
requesting board approval.
Any questions in the meantime? Send an email to Chief Hughes.
That'd be great. Or you guys could call me as well.
Sounds good. Great. Thank you. Then that moves us forward to Chief Hughes' next item, which is the Boston Paramedic School MOU. And this is on for a first look and discussion. Chief Hughes.
Thank you, Chair. So I had spoke to you guys, I believe in September, about the EMS division and some of the happenings of the EMS division. Well, one of those happenings is that we have to pivot a little bit with our paramedic training. We've been lucky enough for the last two decades to send aspiring paramedics to paramedic school. In fact, myself and Battalion Chief Rob Golickson were the first two firefighters that we had sent to paramedic school back in 2001. So something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm eternally grateful for that opportunity. So this last few years, we've had to pivot a little bit and move to, we started out with Harborview a couple decades ago, and then they didn't have capacity for us to attend their school down there. So we had entered into a relationship with Central Washington University. Matter of fact, Chief Maxwell, are you still on the advisory board or just coming off of it? Or all right, so Chief Maxwell's on the advisory board for the paramedic school at Central. Well, this year we had difficulty even getting our students into Central's program. We were only able to get 2 of our 6 available candidates into Central's program. So, and also listening to some of our employees, they were hoping for a different program that provided a bit more work-life balance, rather than going off to Ellensburg for essentially 10 months and not having that work-life balance of being able to be with your family, help raise your kids, and do the work that's required to be a paramedic student. They had expressed some interest in maybe distance education. Well, everything happened to work out just perfectly this year that Central didn't have full availability for all 6 of our students. And this opportunity for this program in Boston, I can never remember the acronym. It's NMETC, National Medical Education and Training Center out of Boston. It's a virtual program. It's about 15 months. There's some things I really like about this program, or that we really like about this program, is that our folks can stay on the line and still work while they are going to school. They'll do the education virtually through recorded online lectures, and they will maintain their shifts and perform their shifts while they're going through class. Now, the caveat is 1 or 2 times, I think it's 12 total days. So I'm not sure if it's 1 6-day trip or 1 12-day trip or 2 6-day trips. They'll go back to Boston where they'll get their hands-on education. They're learning how to do some of the skills that our paramedics do. So they'll go back there for that for about 2 weeks-ish. And then our folks they'll do their clinical internships, which Boston, the university, or not the university, the school there has relationships with several hospitals in our area for our folks to do their clinical internships. And then they will go off to their field internships, which most of it will be done here, but we also have the opportunity to have our folks do their field internship in higher volume agencies as well throughout the country. So we're exploring that as an opportunity as well. So what you guys have before you there is a revised MOU with our labor group, 1828, that has basically the revisions go to have that Boston program.
It could just be me, but I think we lost the audio.
I can't hear them either.
Okay,
I can't hear either.
thanks, guys.
Can you hear us now? Is that any better?
Yes, we can.
Okay, maybe the wire up here just brushed against that button or something. Okay. Commissioner Chan, go ahead. Question for Chief Hughes.
Yeah, how many other, maybe I missed you saying that, how many other fire district would participate in that? And it just seemed to me there's an online thing, it just, is that, I know a lot of program like the large school, like even Harvard and all those things have this kind of program, but majority of them are business school type of thing, but this to me, there's needed, to me, that EMS, the paramedic, you need a lot of really continue kind of a on-site practicing
Yeah.
and all that.
No, I think that's a wonderful question, and I expressed those same concerns too when we were starting to vet this program and talking to the wonderful team that I get to work with. We had explored this, and we had talked to some other agencies. You mentioned other fire districts, and I believe Surfer right now has a student that will be going through there. And I just had a conversation, I want to say, gosh, I think it was with North County about the information that we have on this program and what we want to do with this and what we're hoping to get out of this. I think the reality is there's such a paramedic shortage out there, and there's a shortage to get into these schools that we're willing to really take a look at anything to be able to provide service to our community back here at home. Now, we are also not afraid to pivot if need be. If we're not getting what we need out of this for our students and the community that we serve, we're not afraid to go look at some other options.
Yeah, Commissioner Chan, that is a total valid question. Just know that they're going to be doing ride time with us, hands-on. They're going to be going back for boot camps back there, and they're still going to be doing the hospital internship. So there'll still be a lot of hands-on, and we're going to try this for a year. And if it doesn't work, but Chief Hughes, we do have a paramedic working here that went through that program.
Oh,
right?
yeah, actually,
And they do a
Yeah.
great job.
yes. So MSO Robert Hausner, he's our training MSO. He did go through this. Thanks for reminding me, Chief. Yeah, and he's an outstanding practitioner, and he has a ton of confidence in this school. So great question, and thanks for the reminder.
We're trying to pivot and just not be stuck in in-state programs and figure out ways to get our people trained.
Maybe, this is not for tonight discussion. I mean, the industry is going to be, I mean, ever since I've been here, I hear this paramedic problem. I've been here 20 years. I mean, do we really, I mean, first of all, we go to Harvard, not Harvard, but Harborville and all that stuff, and then go to Central. I mean, to me, I'm sorry, but I can't find it really frustrated. How come the whole industry not getting a solution? Do we need to pay $100,000 for H-1 visa, whatever, to bring in people like that?
It's a challenge, and you'll probably remember this is a worldwide challenge in Europe. They offer incentives and they try and get paramedics from each other's countries. This is not just the United States, Canada, everywhere. This is a worldwide problem.
But for 20 years, we haven't solved it.
There aren't enough nurses, doctors, or paramedics. There aren't enough people to provide the healthcare that's needed in this world. So that is why we keep adapting. We used to go to Harborview. We expanded to Central. Now we're expanding to Boston. So this is our countermeasure to that challenge.
Well, Chief Eastman, you're so good. You're so creative. You go 1 + 1, you go 3. You can do that. Why don't you tell us something?
You know what, Commissioner Chan, if you think about the amount of medics that are in the country, there's not as many medics as there are business majors and all those. And again, to train and get a paramedic school from an accredited institution, there's a lot of dollars associated with that. And so there's a balance between having, because it's not a degree program,
Right.
most of it's certifications, right? And so you have folks that academic agencies are trying to figure out how to do a paramedic program to maintain accreditation, to make it cost effective for people to go get certified as paramedics. And so there is a huge balancing factor out there where I think when I started paramedic school, there were many more paramedic programs out in the country than there are today. And the paramedic programs were less expensive. And when you, it's just they have to make ends meet. I mean, it has to be cost effective. The return on investment to do a paramedic program for Central or Harborview or some of these other programs have to be there. And if they can't get enough paramedic students through, it's not, I'm going to say money making for lack of a better term, right? You're not going to have a college institution having a paramedic program that doesn't cover the cost of the program. And so it's multifaceted. It's, you got people may not want to be in this career field like they were when we were younger. I was younger. And you have the cost of the programs. You have just having them do ride times with agencies and hospital time with it's become much more challenging in a multitude of areas. It's not simple. It's multifaceted. You know, back when I went to paramedic school, getting to go do your time at a hospital wasn't hard to do. It was very simple to do. Today, it's one of the challenges. We face that. Sean's faced it over the last decade and a half. Just for us getting hospital contracts to go do innovations as an agency has been a challenge, let alone paramedic students. And so it is multifaceted and it's not one thing. I don't think you can point to it's this and go fix it. It's dynamic and it's variable. And so the agency and Joe and his team, they are overturning all the stones to figure out how we can do it, how we can maintain it being cost effective, how we can continue to train our people to do the vital work that the crews out in the streets do. And again, I don't think there's a silver bullet for it, Commissioner Chan. It's multifaceted.
Well, I think we need to be politically, whatever it is, put pressure on all the things. I cannot believe we can train
Yes.
a brain surgeon and we cannot train paramedic, right? I mean, just crazy. I mean, because each year we talk about how long we've been talking about this every time. It's just constantly that no solution. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't.
Well, this is actually a credit to Chief Hughes and his team
Right.
finding a solution
Yeah.
and us stepping out and taking a risk to figure out new solutions and not just trying the same old thing.
Yeah, but I mean, with the in-state, maybe UW and whatever, somehow we gotta,
Yeah,
get together.
we've explored those.
Federal should get some funding, whatever. I'm sorry,
No, I just want you
No,
to
I
know
appreciate you
the
guys doing that,
energy
but-
that has gone into that over the last 10 years is extensive.
Yeah.
Extensive.
Right.
This is a kudos to this team for finding this solution.
No, I definitely appreciate that, but
Yeah.
we gotta get a long-term solutions in here. Yeah.
Thanks for the kind words, Chief Maxwell. It's really the team that did it. But Commissioner Cham, I do hear you, and we will surveil this and make sure that we are getting the product that we want, that our community deserves. And if we have to pull back, we're not afraid to.
No, not just you, but I'm saying that the commissioner, the WFCA and all this stuff, we got to, to solve the problem as a whole group.
Thank you. Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes, it's not just paramedics. It's a demographic issue. Us baby boomer generation, there are a lot of us and we had to really fight for jobs. I mean, it was tough. You're battling a lot of other people for every job. Now it's different. And mechanics, a lot of different trades, professions are, going shorthanded. And so it's not just paramedics. It's a demographic issue. Having, murdered 80 million babies since 1972. That's one reason we're a little short on labor. A lot of them aren't here. So, yeah, it's demographics.
Chief Hughes, question for you. Does this MOU, it doesn't exclude the use of Central Washington University's program, does it?
No, it doesn't. Another great question. It actually, we built off of the MOU. That was the central MOU. So the foundation of that document you guys have up there is based off the last year's document. We just wordsmithed and added some things in there to allow for the distance education, virtual education.
So there would be the possibility, depending on openings and, the timing, to possibly get a slot or slots, more likely a slot at Harborview or a slot or slots at Central, and then now at the Boston program.
Yeah, I really think this just diversifies our options in this climate of workforce issues. So kind of what you're saying right there, if a spot opens up, we'll jump on them. We've already vetted Harborview. It's a great program. Central's a great program. I'm confident that this program is going to be another great program. So I think we're stronger off as an organization, South County Fire, having a diversified options for our education for our students. And it also helps the employees too. I mean, we listen to our employees. Our employees were talking about some alternative education for some work-life balance. I can tell you that as a 24-year-old kid, 26 years ago, whatever it was, newly married and like new family, going away for school was a challenge. So we want to be sensitive to our employees' needs as well. And this is one of those that satiates that need for them.
Yeah, just to add to Chief Hugh's point, their neighboring departments, nobody will go to medic school. So they have it on the opposite side. None of their firefighters are willing to go to paramedic school. So this is opening up another door so that we can have an opportunity for more of our people to go.
Well, that's why I think it's important over time, because as Commissioner Chan indicated, this is not a new issue for us. It's been an ongoing issue. And the challenge which we have tried to meet is to essentially create or grow our own paramedics. We've hired paramedics as laterals. That comes with its own issues and challenges, and the opportunity, if employees are willing to do the extensive training education and training that's necessary, the willingness of our workforce to take advantage of that opportunity, because it's not easy. You got to be committed to it. But to become a paramedic is, and our willingness to, spend a significant sum of money and time and effort to get them trained is a real value. But it allows us to have homegrown paramedics, to create our own paramedics in a way that just trying to get lateral transfers is challenging. So not that we don't get lateral paramedics, but between the lateral paramedics and creating our own paramedics internally, we've been able to meet our needs over time, although the needs continue to grow. So I think this is a great diversification and staying flexible to try and keep up with our needs for paramedics, because it's not going away, and we've got to continue to meet that challenge, and it's not easy. So I applaud you for thinking outside the box and finding different ways to get to where we need to go.
Well, we really appreciate your support and understanding the challenge.
Great. Any other questions, comments for Chief Hughes on the Boston Paramedic Program MOU? If not, it'll be on the first meeting of December, next meeting for action. Great. Thank you, Chief Hughes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, that takes us forward in the agenda to unfinished business 10, starting with 10A. And that's the third quarter 2025 financial report with our Chief Financial Officer, Chris Boffa. Good evening, Mr. Boffa.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair. All right, so tonight I have a routine quarterly financial report for you. This is for the third quarter. The results in the third quarter were pretty closely aligned with the budget, so this is kind of an uneventful report for you. Revenues performed well in the third quarter. You all know that we have 97% of our revenues come from 5 sources. 3 of the 5 were on track in the third quarter. 2 were underperforming, so I'll share with you what was going on there. One of them was, one of the underperformers was ground emergency medical transport revenue, so GEMT. It's been a popular topic of conversation recently. At the end of the third quarter, we hadn't received any information out of HCA or Healthcare Authority regarding the amount of the payment or the timing. And so it was showing as underperforming at the end of the third quarter, but we have subsequently received all that information from them, and we're just waiting for the payment at this point. We should receive that in the next few weeks. So I'll close the loop on that item as soon as we receive the payment from them. The other underperformer was contract fees. And so these are the fees that we receive under the Edmunds contract and through the end of the year. Those are obviously going to go away when the annexation is complete at the end of the year. Those underperformed by a few percentage points at the end of the third quarter. And that's just the result of the annexation agreement that switched up the amount of the contract payment. There was just a few changes. So that's going to trend below the forecasted value as a result of those changes post-annexation. It'll be like that through the end of the year. It's not upsetting to our revenue mix at all. So otherwise, revenues were good. The other 3% of revenues that aren't represented by those five all performed well and are on track to meet the forecast by the end of the year. For expenditures, you may recall during the second quarter report, we were trending 1% below budget. And I probably said something like it's too close for comfort. We got a positive adjustment in the third quarter and we're trending 3% under budget at the end of the third quarter. So that puts us in the sweet spot that is the 2 to 5% underspend. And that's what we factored in when we were during budget development. So expenditures otherwise are pretty unremarkable, but there is a detail by division in your packet materials. The other thing that we report during expenditures is the overtime. So operations overtime at the end of the second quarter was 56% spent. So it was trending a little bit high. That trend continued and accelerated a little bit in the third quarter. And so we were 91% spent at the end of the third quarter. Staff looked into the reasons and they're sort of the normal, the things that we typically see causing overtime. So nothing really to report there, but we'll continue to monitor that. The forecast for overtime at the end of the year, it looks like we're going to be probably between $500,000 and $700,000 overspent in operations overtime at the end of the year. But we have savings elsewhere in the budget, so there won't be a budget amendment required for that item. So that's the end of the general fund piece. There's other funds. Of the two that I mentioned at the Q2 report was LEF 1, and then also the Healthcare Self-Insurance Fund. And I noted that both of those were trending towards needing a budget amendment before year end. The Healthcare Self-Insurance Fund, we've spent a lot of time talking about, and there is a fix that is in the current budget package that you guys are going to consider action on tonight. The LEF 1 actually had a positive adjustment during the third quarter, and so it looks like it's trending to not exceed its budgeted value by the end of the year. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. It's going to be really close. So I could come back to you in December and we may need a budget amendment, but it would just be to increase expenditures and there is plenty of fund balance. So it would just be it would be all contained within the LEF 1 fund. But that one's going to be really close. So we'll continue to monitor that. And that is the extent of the Q3 report. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bothwell. Questions for Mr. Bothwell on the third quarter financial report? Any questions for Mr. Bothwell on the third quarter financial report? Commissioner Chan, any questions? You're usually good for a question.
Numbers. I'm big picture now. I don't pick on little things anymore.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Bothwell, you're in luck tonight. No questions on the report.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. All right. That moves us forward on the agenda to item 10B, which is the 2026 board budget deliberations and budget adoption and the various resolutions that implement that. And before we get started with our list of 8 resolutions, I wanted to see if there were any general questions from the board about 2026 budget that either Chief Eastman or Mr. Bothwell could answer if there are any questions or comments at this time about 2026 budget. Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes, as Chair Kenny mentioned a couple of weeks ago, no matter what happens, we're going to stay within the bounds of financial fiduciary responsibility. We're not going to spend what we don't have. So if that means not hiring or reduction or not building something, that's what we'll do. Thank you.
Any other general questions or any comments, general comments for Chief Eastman or Mr. Bothwell on the 2026 budget? If,
Can I make a comment afterwards, maybe?
sure, yeah, I mean, we can,
I'll
we'll
make
do.
comments afterwards. Yeah.
And of course, there'll be, you get discussion on all of the motions related
Right,
to the
okay.
resolutions too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can comment at the end, sure. All right, well, then I think we are ready to get started with our resolutions. So our first resolution, which is located at page 77 of the packet, is the resolution related to Resolution 1118-2025-16, adopting the 2026 general property tax levy. So I will move the adoption of resolution number 1118-2025-16, adopting the 2026 fire levy. Is there a second?
I'll second that. I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt a resolution ending in 16 for the 2026 fire levy. Is there discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Let's see. Sorry, yeah, let me just put that right there. Okay, that takes us then to our second resolution, which is the EMS property tax levy for 2026. It's a resolution ending in 17, and that is at page. And actually, I guess I did have a question, Mr. Bothwell. I forgot to ask before we passed that resolution, but the levy certification at page 79 of the packet, is that, and I see it's noted on the agenda, does that need separate action? Or is that something that's signed by you, to the county?
Yeah, no separate action required. That is signed by me.
Very good. Okay. All right. So that takes us forward then to page 81, which is the 2026 EMS levy. So I'll move the adoption of resolution 1118-2025-17, which is the resolution to adopt the 2026 EMS levy. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Teofilak. It's been moved and seconded to adopt a resolution ending in 17 related to the EMS levy. Is there discussion on the motion? Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That moves us forward then to our third resolution, which I believe is at page 83 of the packet, and it is resolution 1118-2025-18, and it adopts the 2026 benefit charge. I'll move the adoption of resolution 1118-2025-18, imposing a benefit charge on the personal property and improvements to real property within the RFA for calendar year 2026. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Chan. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution ending -18 related to the fire benefit related to the benefit charge. Is there discussion on the motion?
I'll make a comment.
Commissioner Chan, go ahead.
I think a lot of people, especially the public, consider, well, this is the increase of the benefit charge, but I think benefit charge is really shifting the burden to, commercials and other people from the individual homeowner. So I hope people can understand that. So, just let the public know that this is not a bad thing. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion related to adopting the benefit charge for 2026? Any other discussion on the motion? If not, we will move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That takes us forward to our fourth resolution, which is located at page 148 of the packet. And it is the resolution 1118-2025-19, adopting the 2026 budget for all funds. Is there a motion to adopt that resolution? It's been moved by Commissioner Wittes. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Lawrence. It is moved and seconded to adopt that resolution 1118-2025-19, adopting the 2026 budget. Is there discussion on the motion? I did want to make a motion to amend to add the language I previously indicated last week that I wanted to add, which is a budget proviso, not to fill the 35 positions that are in the proposed budget until specifically approved by the board in 2026 due to at least my concerns about the GEMT revenue. So after the numbers in there in the resolution, motion to amend and add the following language: provided that the 30 firefighters and 5 administrative employees to be hired in this budget shall not be hired until specifically approved by the board in 2026. The board is concerned about the GEMT revenue forecast to be received in 2026, and the board wants to ensure there is adequate revenue to fund the 35 positions. I move to amend the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. It's been moved and seconded to amend the motion in that regard. Discussion on the motion to amend. And I'll just add that I just am concerned about the GEMT and our receipt of it. I just feel like, as I indicated last week, that we've just got to be sure that have more confidence that we're getting the money before hiring that many people. I do support the roadmap plan that would hire those 35 people. It's just, we got to have the money to pay for them. And we got to be sure we have the revenue to do that. And so this would put in my opinion, a minor break on that so that we can make sure that we have the money as we approve those positions in 2026. And if the money doesn't come in, then we have the money in the budget to fund everything we're doing now. It's this additional 35 people that is the concern for me. So Commissioner Rowland, go ahead.
We discussed this at length last week. I think this is an unnecessary amendment to the budget, and it does really limit kind of the ability for the chief to do his job. We're authorizing the money. We do have trust that our organization is also looking at the GEMT money, and I don't believe this is a necessary motion. I can't see any other part of if this is kind of concerns that you have, why not other parts of the budget? Why is this one, singled out, number one? And number two, it's hampering any hiring for any of those numbers. So I don't think it's finely crafted enough for it to get my support.
Board Liaison Swisher, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna agree with Micah here because like we talked about last week, I think that you have good people in your leadership group. CFO Bothwell, he is all over watching the GMT money and knowing, essentially the trends that are going on that will affect revenue that we receive. And you are tying the hands of the chief and staff to be able to hire the firefighters that we need in order to provide the services to the citizens that we've told them we will provide to them. I would really like to encourage everybody not to vote for that and maybe instead ask for regular updates from CFO Bothwell as well as the chief on how the hiring is going and where we're at, because it takes a long time to find good people and get them to pass through the system.
Other discussion on the motion, Commissioner Wittes.
Thank you. I support your amendment. I just have concern over the administrative positions. If you would be interested in maybe changing that a little bit. And the reason why I bring that up is when you hire firefighters, it is a pool, it is brought up by the staff. It's easy for them to bring that up. When you do the administrative positions, they're individual items and testing for the specific position they're being hired for. And it makes it a little tougher to come to the board and say, can we do this one? And then come to the board and say, can we do this one? And I know what it's like when we're short on administrative people. it makes the uniform personnel do more work that's administrative than the work they need to be doing. And so that's a concern I have. I would appreciate if you'd look at changing that. If not, I would still vote in favor of it.
Other discussion on the motion? Commissioner Teoflat.
Yeah, from our discussions last week, I agree with Paula and Micah to not handcuff the staff, and I have faith in them that they will not overreach if they feel the budget is lacking, and that we just need to start the hiring process, and it takes a long time to hire that number of people.
Any other discussion on the motion?
I
Commissioner Chan.
support that. As I said last week, we have to be careful. We get the money and spend it, not spend it before it comes. Okay. Which I might major my concern. Yeah, we still have reserve, but I'm seeing the projection of reserve just decrease and decrease. We cannot do that. So we just have to live within our mean. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean the board is not going to disapprove, right? And budgets are here to change too. There's no solid ground to say, oh, well, I can spend all this money. If the money did not come up, it did not come in, right? So, and I think in general, the board is pretty reasonable. If we really get into a situation, affecting our response time and all that stuff, even you don't have the money, I probably will be say, yeah, let's go do it. But also at the same time, that's challenging us to be more efficient, how to do, do the work. I think that's, to me, is a critical that I'm sorry, I'm a really physical conservative person. So that's I support this.
Any other discussion on the motion to amend the budget proviso? Commissioner Fernhoff, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I really appreciate this kind of discussion because we on one hand are perceiving a runaway train that could come up and sort of bite us in the future. On the other hand, it does provide for that conversation here, which we're having right now, which is fantastic. It may not be a perfect instrument that we have conceived, but it is one that is worth discussing and worth consideration. I appreciate Commissioner Wittes' point of view as far as potentially editing it in a way that might be more satisfactory. One of the concerns I have is for not so much hiring 35 firefighters, but what do we do about the CRP program and its continuation and potential expansion? We have so many people right now that have experienced layoffs, and what we have is a systemic problem within our society is homeless and drug addiction and all of these other kinds of components. And the CRP program has proven to be effective in mitigating that. So I'd like to keep an eye towards that program, even if we don't install 35 firefighters. Look for those funding mechanisms by which to get that program not only solidly put in as a line item, but also an expansion in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion to amend the budget proviso? If not, we'll move to a vote on this is on the motion to amend the budget proviso to add it to the main motion. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Nay.
And I believe that motion passes on a 5-2 vote with Commissioner Teoflat and Commissioner Fernhoff. I'm sorry, Commissioner Rowland voting no. So now the main motion is amended and has the budget proviso in it. So now we're back to discussion of the main motion, which is adoption of the resolution containing the budget proviso. Is there discussion now on the main motion? Commissioner Rowland, go ahead.
Yes, back when this was brought forward, there's a position for an HVAC technician added in, and there was some discussion around the level at which the salary was being set, the benefits, the whole package. I believe is $220,000 in the budget, with a $60,000 for a brand new vehicle for it, which leaves 160 with benefits and salary. Looking in all the information I could find, both in salaries, public and private, those that are sitting in, the Office of Financial Management, I could find no example of let's say 140,000 of that 160,000 being base salary, $140,000 salary being offered for any position like this across the state. At the state level, we have technicians that are repairing equipment in nuclear facilities that are earning less, and their budget or their salary schedule is beneath what we're offering for a standard HVAC technician. I raised these concerns at the time. I still have heard no justification for why this salary is accurate. Any examples, any documentation, anything. If there's none forthcoming, I would move that we at least reduce this to a normal amount, but I will pause that to allow response.
Chief, did you want to respond?
So if you're okay, Chief Curtis was the one that did the research from our side. So if you're okay with that, Commissioner Kennedy,
Sure. Absolutely.
I'll have James speak on behalf of that.
Chief Curtis, thank you.
Good evening, Board Chair, Commissioners, staff, and guests. So yes, I am the originator of that budget request, and our research was based on a journeyman level for full-fledged trained HVAC technicians. Washington State Labor and Industries releases the journeyman wage at $100 an hour. It's also interesting to note that if we're bringing in a specialized individual at a what was suggested at $75,000 a year wage, that would be $25,000 less than our facilities technicians that we have right now that we use as our general laborers for facilities repairs. So what we're really interested in is bringing in an individual that has specialized skills to bring down that $400,000 cost. And that's that ask.
Okay. Other, Commissioner Rowland, did you have any other questions in response to Chief Curtis?
I mean, other than what I'm hearing tonight, I have no evidence, nothing to base this off of. It would have been nice to have that information provided along with documentation for me to be able to assimilate. I still believe that this position is being staffed at too high of a level, or at least salaried at too high of a level.
The only thing I would offer is that with the main motion having been amended, before that position would be filled, it would be coming back before the board, and there'll be another opportunity for perhaps more documentation or more information regarding that position.
So Chair, can I clarify that? This was actually one of the discretionary budget additions rather than a roadmap position.
I'm sorry. So it's not one of the 35.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. My apologies. I stand corrected. Other discussion on the main motion for this resolution for the 2026 budget. Any other discussion? Commissioner Lawrence? We're just about to go to the vote, so I didn't want you to walk out the door. If there's no other discussion, we'll go ahead and move to a vote on the main motion as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, that moves us forward then to the fifth motion, which is related to the cost of living adjustment for non-represented regular and contract employees for 2026. It's resolution 1118-2025-20, and it is located at page 151 of the meeting packet. And I will move the adoption of resolution 1118-2025-20, a resolution authorizing a cost of living adjustment COLA for non-represented regular and contract employees for year 2026. Is there a second? seconded by Commissioner Wittes. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the COLA resolution ending -20. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Chan.
I think it's only fair for the cost of living to adjustment so that our staff employee would not be, taking up. But also now, the cost of living could be even higher. So I'm not sure I'm going to continue that theory. But it is what it is. But I'm glad that we have this cost of living adjustment.
Any other discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That moves us forward to our sixth resolution, which is related to comprehensive financial management policies. And that is located at page 165 of the meeting packet. And it's resolution 1118-2025-21. I'll move the adoption of resolution 1118-2025-21, amending comprehensive financial management policies to address topics identified during 2026 budget development. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Lawrence. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution ending -21. Is there discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That moves us forward on the agenda to our seventh resolution, and that is the resolution 1118-2025-22 related to self-insurance transfer of funds for 2025. And that is located at page 167 of the meeting packet. We discussed this issue last week, and I will move the adoption of resolution 1118-2025-22, amending the general fund budget to authorize a transfer from the general fund to the healthcare self-insurance fund to increase self-insurance fund reserves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Chan. It's been moved and seconded to adopt that resolution and ending -22. Is there discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That was our seventh resolution, and this brings us to our eighth and final resolution related to budget-related issues for 2026, our eighth resolution, and it's resolution 1118-2025-23. I'll move the adoption of resolution 1118-2025-23, a resolution of the board confirming the application of the administrative salary survey to administrative staff as of January 1, 2025. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Lawrence. It's been moved and seconded to adopt that resolution ending -23. Is there discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. And that was our eighth and final resolution related to budget type issues. And so we are ready to move forward then in the agenda to item 10 of 10C, of unfinished business, which.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes, I know. I did promise an opportunity to make a comment. Sure, Commissioner Chan, related to 2026 budget, go ahead.
I am just happy to say that we have right now, because we have a really good reserve and really able to just smoothly to approve the budget. I have watching other cities and other organizations. My God, they have to go really. Really, it's not an easy way to have a budget process, of course. But I'm just reminding people that at one time we ended the same situations. remember, we still, some of you have been here long enough to remember, we even discussed, should we have a $25 red card, should not or not. So that bring up to my, I think, during the whole thing, I have been mentioned so many times, right? If you go to our budget and 24, page 24, there's a long forecast in there. And you can see our funded, if some of you have, this kind of reminding us basically right now, even in 2026, we are not to the target. Okay, we're $32 million less than the target. Okay, and the fund balance is $17 million. If you go all the way to 2030, our ending fund balance is negative $23 million. And then we're $80 million. So during this time, we have to really go and look for way we can do it, how do we adjust the budget and everything. Or we might have to raise our levy rate. I mean, not just telling people. So we got to have a balance on that. So we got to really rethink. So when we do budget, we have to think about that. So that's a reminder. So this is good, but look down at the year, we need to I rely on the administration, really trying to what we can do to do it. And we are enjoying that we're the lowest levy rate right now. And I really hope we can get that promise. So our voter will keep that. All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Kenny,
Yes.
can I say a couple things on the budget?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess I'd just like to say thanks to staff for one, but the conversation we had in 2025 on behalf of the roadmap, and we've been talking about where we want this organization to go and a framework to go, and that was a constant dialogue between the board and staff. The budget process, we started having the conversation back in January about where we thought this needed to go, and it did dovetail into the budget, and we talked about the budget throughout the time, but it wasn't some of the conversations we've had of budgets of old. And I guess I also want to thank the board for my time in the last two budgets, because we've done things a little bit different than the board has allowed that to happen. And I'm really proud of the process that we've come up with, and the continued conversation that staff is having with the governance of the organization, and we're having conversations together, and I think the process has worked. It's worked very well, and I look forward to continuing the conversation with the organizational roadmap, starting in the first quarter of next year, and I see that rolling into the budget development for 2027, and hopefully a budget process that's very similar to the one we had in 2026 of great conversation, good conversation, great dialogue between both staff and the board. And I think we are in an extremely good place as an organization. And it has to do with the constant communication that we've been having with each other. And sometimes they've been long conversations, and we go back over things and talk about it. But I think the work we've done has been well worth it. I think we better understand ourselves as an organization. I think we know what the future and where we think the future is going to go, and then all the other things that go along with it, including how do we resource it. It deals with people. It's long term. It's long term looking ahead, and we don't celebrate our successes often enough. I think if you look at the last 2 years, you look at what we did at the beginning of this year with the roadmap and the precursor to our budget process. I am extremely proud of not only my staff, but what we are doing as an organization. And a large part of that is the governance that I have the privilege to work for. I just wanted to say that I can't say that we've always had these kind of conversations in the past, but I'm quite proud of this organization. And I'm proud of where we were. I'm proud of where we are, and I'm extremely excited about where we're going. So thanks for letting me say that.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for your comments. Any other 2026 budget comments? Great, thank you. All right, that moves us forward on the agenda then to item 10C in unfinished business, and this is going to be the locution issue. It's the request for authorization to, approve. This is at page 172 of your packet, to authorize phase 3 quotes for Prime Alert at stations 13, 14, 16, and 23. And this will be Chief Curtis. Good evening again.
Good evening again, Chair, Commissioners, liaisons, staff, and guests. This evening, I'm in front of you with a request for motion to approve 4 quotes for the purchase of equipment for the Locution Prime Alert Fire Station Alerting System. But before we get into those details, I'd like to give you a quick history. I promise this won't be more than 5 minutes long, bringing you up to speed as to where we've been and how we got to where we are today. So I want to talk about what Locution is. Locution is a fire station alerting system. And really what it does is it takes our current system that's in all of our stations, which is known as a Nighthawk system, which is end of life today. And we were forced to have to come to you, I want to say it was 2 years ago, formally, and ask for the appropriation of funds to replace all of the fire station alerting systems. And our choice was to do 14 of the 15 fire stations, considering that we are building a new fire station 22. So what this is this is a system that is initiated from our directly from the dispatch center through our computer-aided dispatch system, and it alerts the stations. You'll see different visual indicators such as addresses, and that light tower indicates which unit is to respond. For instance, red would probably be the fire engine, and that helps with turnout time and recognition for the crews as they move towards their response apparatus. Along with it is the automated voice system, and it's also in line with what's on the dispatch radio. So it's a computer automated voice. And it's also a system that involves zoned alerting. So gone are the days of having to have the entire fire station wake up if one unit is going out. There are several stations that have more than 2 or 3 apparatus. And so if the battalion chief is dispatched, for example, the rest of the crew doesn't have to wake up. So this has visual and audio systems. There's redundancy, and it's also tied into other aspects of the RFA, such as our display screens that do our messaging for stations. And then it's also tied in with mobile alerts. The system is really simple in concept. Snow 911 houses the primary server, which is a Locution server. That was a decision that drove our decision on which brand and sole source determination that the board approved approximately 2 years ago when we started this process. The triggers we talked about, Locution will alert the stations, but what's also interesting is there's turnout timers in the stations, and the crews are able to monitor their turnout times, and that's managed at the crew level, and the target times are achieved. All of the results are geared towards reducing sleep loss and reducing turnout time. So, well, I just said it. It reduces sleep disruption, and it's a system that's specifically designed for us here in South County Fire, but employed throughout the nation. So it's a very common system, and we have 7 stations that have been fully installed with great success. So the storyline here is it started at the end of 2024, and we chose our 3 biggest stations, and that was stations 10, 11, 15. Those stations were installed and have been operating successfully to this day. Phase 2 followed in spring of 2025. I was before you and asked for your approval for the next 4 stations. And now here I am at the end of 2025 with a project that's slated for early 2026. I just simply called it winter of 2026. That's phase 3. My ask tonight is for the equipment approval for fire stations 13, 14, 16, and 23. I'm excited to tell you that we're over halfway done, and that takes us into the home stretch. And my intentions are to be here in the spring of next year and ask for the next approval steps of 17, 20, and 76. I do have plans to come back in December and ask for, we have the results of our request for proposals for the installation. Just preliminary, that's going to be about $137,000, but that's going to be next month. So let's focus on the equipment. And that's going to be my ask, is that you consider $224,460 for the approval of 4 quotes related to the equipment for locution, prime alert for the stations identified as 13, 14, 16, and 23. So I'll pause right there and I'll ask you if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Chief Curtis. Any questions from board members regarding the locution system? Go ahead, Commissioner Chan. Commissioner Chan.
Am I still within my quota?
Yeah.
You're stretching it. You're stretching it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just curious about, are there any comments from the one who had installed versus the one hasn't been installed yet? Do they have that kind of appreciations or whatever positive effect to it?
Commissioner Chan, I went out and I worked with my facilities staff who are managing this project. And I went out and I also interacted with crews and polled the audience. Everybody's response has been pretty favorable. They do appreciate the modernness of the system. What I left out of the conversation is that they can choose their bedrooms based on their sleeping arrangements. And it's a very flexible system that allows them to adjust it based on the station's or crew's preference. It's been
So,
very positive.
Very popular,
Yes, sir.
positive effect. When I did when I first became a commissioner, this 20 years ago, do the ride along. It does, a lot of times is not a good sleep and wake up everybody. I think I appreciate that. So I assume that the rest of the station, people are expecting that to have the same treatments and everything else in there.
Yes, sir. And as a reminder, this was part of a $1.5 million ask. Memory escapes me, but I want to say it was middle of 2024 when it was first introduced. It was one of my first projects that was assigned to me at then Assistant Chief Eastman, that he assigned to me. And he said, well, get used to it because this is a multi-year project. And here I am. And I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It has been a big learning experience, but it's been very rewarding. And we're very happy to be wrapping it up and with your support. And hopefully again tonight, I'll ask for again.
Well,
your support.
to me, it's a parity, right? I think we should, if some station have, the other one should have. And that's why we want to spend $400,000, $400,000, which there was $400 million to really upgrading the whole capital facility plan. So I appreciate your work. Thank you.
Good news is I won't be asking for Fire Station 22 because that's already built into the project.
Oh, okay. All right.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes, we're getting a new lock system also, and this system and probably other systems. Is everything we're buying nowadays over the air updatable so it will improve with time?
Yes, we are definitely focusing our attention on not letting upgrades lapse or builds come out where we can't keep up or where it's cost prohibitive. So for instance, on the keys, the key reader system for South County, we were several builds behind and it was cost prohibitive to bring it up versus going into a new system. Plus we encountered software issues like you're alluding to. So my intentions as your logistics chief is to always stay agile and up to date with updates. And that's a big thing for our team.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief Curtis on the location? Otherwise, I think we're probably ready for action. I'll move that the board approve the request for the $224,460 for phase 3 hardware at stations 13, 14, 16, and 23 from the locution Systems Incorporated.
I'll second that.
So moved and seconded to approve that. Is there discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Curtis. All right, that was 10C. Now we're on to 10D, and this is a capital facilities plan update. So I wanted to put this on here. On behalf of the Capital Facilities Plan Committee, we've been talking about capital facilities plan for years. And earlier this fall, we talked about bonds, how to fund a capital facilities plan. We also had TCA come in and talk about the plan itself, and you have the plan located in there. I think the only additional piece of information that we have in there, and I might turn this over to Chief Eastman for a moment to talk about, is we've talked a little bit about local school districts that cover part of South County Fire and that are going to the ballot next year as we start thinking about, well, when's a good time? But also the relative issue, that's what I call it, the relative issue. And that is relatively how much is the ask in relation to what other entities are asking for in terms of bond amount. And page 211 helps to describe that a little bit. But let me turn that over to Chief Eastman for a few comments about the school district information.
So there's two items in your packet regarding that. One is a map that shows how the school districts and how they overlap the RFA proper. And you know, Steve Wheeler's awesome at doing that. And I think it just tells you the school districts that are part of the RFA that we share taxpayers with. And then our communications director went and looked at the school districts that have ballot measures coming out on the February 10th ballot. And I apologize, Commissioner Kenny, I don't know what page number it is in the packet. But we have the Everett School District. They're doing a construction bond. They're also looking at educational level renewal. The bond amount is $396.8 million. The key bond projects is a new elementary school, add 12 classrooms to existing school, safety, security expansion. Mukilteo School District looking at a couple of bond, $400 million. Upgrade 2 schools, improve 2 schools, security, HVAC, athletic, et cetera, upgrades. So it's just to upgrade or improve what they have. It's not new. North Shore, it's 698 million. That's a replacement of 3 schools, expand 1 school, improve size of update safety, and field improvements. And then I've got Edmond School District replacement program, but I don't know if we know the dollar amount yet. Okay, so the Edmond School District will be on the ballot, but it's for renewal of the current levy. So it's not, wouldn't be a huge capital like you see in the other ones. And so we wanted to give the context of what the school districts are doing. I think in the conversations we've had in the capital city subcommittee, I think it's to put in context of the dollar amounts people are going after. When you look at the facilities that our capital facility plan identifies, you look at the costs associated with her capital facilities plan. You know, we're not out of line with where the school districts are going when you look at the cost of capital improvements that have happened over the years. Some of us remember back in 2001 when we did our bond, significantly different time many years ago. But you know, those are what's going to be on the ballot February 10th, and kind of a background of those. And with that, Commissioner Kenny, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. Then the reason tonight is not for a particular ask, but to say that, just speaking for myself, I feel like we've brought the board to a place where we've had a lot of education about how to fund it, what the plan would be, what the need would be. We've talked about the need and the stations in multiple different ways over the years. We've talked about timing because some years are better than others. And so my intent is to bring this to the next meeting and bring it to a vote to go to the ballot in 2026 at the general election. And so I wanted to get you thinking about that, not to have a vote tonight, but that it's a significant ask and would be, a monumental decision spanning probably more than a decade. And so it's a big decision. And so I wanted you to have plenty of warning about that. But also, if there were other, I feel like we've done, I kind of feel like we've um, um, gone to ground on the different threads related to this. And you can always get way into the weeds of the nuances of anything and never reach the end of it. But I feel like if we're in a place where we're ready to make a go, no go decision. And maybe the decision is no go and don't do it. And I don't know that if the decision is no, I don't know that we have to answer the question then, well, if not now, and if not next year, when? We don't have to ask that, but it is kind of hanging in the air. And that is, in my opinion, I think 2026, maybe it's not perfect, but we're at a place where I think we can do it. We've got the time to do it, and to ask the people. And the dollar value is so large, we need the public support in order to make this happen. But ask our bosses, the people, if they support this. But I feel like we're at a place where we're ready to engage that discussion and make that decision. And maybe the decision is no. But we are coming to the end of the year, and it's kind of a ripe time to be able to do that. We're about 11 months out from by the time we make this decision, we bring it to a vote in the first meeting of December, we'll be 11 months out from the November 2026 general election. I think the time's right. So I just wanted to mention that to you and get you thinking about it, because it's not a small issue. But if there were other things, other educational pieces or other things that commissioners were like, hey, I just cannot decide this without knowing X, we do have some time. We don't absolutely have to do it at the next meeting. We could do it maybe at the third meeting of December. If there was like some educational piece related to this that we haven't addressed, and you think of it either now or in the next, week or something, and let the chief know or let me know, we could pursue that to try and answer questions in December. But I kind of wanted to have a discussion about that if anybody wanted to, and see what the flavor of the board was.
Mhm.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes. Yeah, it's, I think, very important that we move as fast as possible, that we put this on the ballot as early as possible. And that the public understands that if they want the level of care that they have now, the level of response, that we need to do these things to build new, to refurbish, and that level of care is contingent on the physical plant that we have. And it'd be our job as the board and the staff to educate the public as to what we actually do, because the reality is most people don't really know what we do. And so we're going to ask them for a lot of money. And so we'll put the decision up to them. We'll do our best to let them know why we need the money. Thank you.
Other discussion, thoughts, questions? Commissioner Chan.
Yeah, I'm the worry type. I'm always, number one, that's why in discussion, $400 million, can we bring it down to 399 million or something like that? I mean, we need to sell the package, right? That's why the pricing is always $1.99, okay, not $2, okay. The second thing is that the most important part is that school have a really big support group, the parents, okay? So they're the one who push behind and really do it. So in a sense, we need a group that behind us, okay? So we need to thinking about that. The first good start is the one that the people will have for our banning the firework. Those are the good, we have to wake them up. We have to, that's why I'm saying, Christy, I think you're so important now. You got to, the classes, everything else, we have to organize this, become our support group, the neighborhood committee or whatever that is. The second thing is that I think the message is really critical. Commissioner Lawrence said, yeah, with the timing. So we have to sell as a taxpayer. Okay. I don't care. You sleep in the slum. As long as you're close to me, right? I mean, I don't like want to see your big commercial kitchens and and lazy chair, big screen TV, right? So somehow the message have to be see how are we able to the new will have an efficiency, maybe the turnout time will be better or something like that. That get into the group. So maybe part of you mentioned really good, Commissioner, the senior citizen. So we have to really go in marketing the senior citizen as a support group. So therefore, we need to organize them and really helping us to do it. Because we saw so many fire EMS levies fail, right? I mean, so last time was $19 million. This is $400 million. It's a huge, huge difference in here. So everybody got to start thinking about it.
Oh, Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes, great idea, Commissioner Chan. So I recommend we make it that 99, but let's make it 499. Okay.
Other discussion? Other comments?
So Commissioner Kennedy, can
Yes.
I add, if there's any commissioners that want additional information or anything, my staff, I'm available and staff's available that have been working on this. Feel free to reach out to us between now and the next meeting also. And if there's anything we can do or questions you have, feel free to reach out to staff. We'd love to be able to answer your questions before you get to the next meeting.
Commissioner Chan?
I just support you. I think is critical on 2026 because 27, then we have a number of problems. But don't tell me I'm because I'm junkie, news junkie and the stock market and all this stuff. I really I don't see it after 2006. I think the price and everything will continue to increase, the inflations and everything else in there. So 2007, people have they're not in the mood to approve a $400 million bond. So it's critical. We got to get it done on 2006, even though the time frame is really tight. So we have to work hard.
Any other discussion? If not, the issue will be back on the first meeting of December for action. All right, thank you. That moves us forward then to committee updates. Let's see, let's start with the capital facilities plan.
Well,
Commissioner Lawrence?
Nothing to report. We didn't have a meeting last week and we sort of talked about it just a second ago.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Okay. Up next then is finance and human resources. Commissioner Chan.
Yes, CFO, you want to talk about what you want to talk about, and it will be on Thursday, 1 o'clock.
So the agenda topic for this month is going to be GAAP financial statements. We're going to look at the financial statements from Alderwood Water District, which is one of our neighboring jurisdictions, or I guess they're in the same, share some of our service area. So we'll take a look at those and get a better sense of what GAAP financial statements look like.
I think that's an input from your consultant saying that the moving the points and how much is you go to and all is critical for us to have a good, presentation and that way, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think the folks that are talking to us about issuing bonds tell us that there's potentially a reason that we would want to have GAAP financial statements, the impact it would have on our credit rating. So,
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Intergovernmental, Commissioner Wittes.
Thank you, Chair. We have not met.
Great, thank you. And Snow 911, Commissioner Fernhoff.
Snow 911 canceled their meeting this week, so stay tuned next month.
Sounds good. All right, that moves us forward to item number 12, which is commissioner comments. And I didn't know how much discussion there was going to be in the various items of the budget tonight, with the focus being on 2026 budget. So I put this in here under commissioner comments, which is a little bit of an odd fit, but it relates to commissioner reimbursements and a proposal Ms. Blankenship, correct me if I'm wrong, but from the finance department, not from you personally, but from finance, to change how commissioner reimbursements are done and move us.
No, this was initiated by me.
Okay, sorry. Ms. Blankenship is proposing that we move from what we're doing currently with commissioner reimbursements to an electronic system that is part of the general overall South County Fire process, I guess I'll say. So I wanted to have Ms. Blankenship say a few words about that, and then get a little bit of comment from the board members. Go ahead, Ms. Blankenship.
Sure. Thank you. So this is a new commissioner reimbursement system that I have spoken to each of you individually about. And as I've mentioned to each of you, I've been working with finance to update the reimbursement system. And it's designed to improve efficiency and reduce the chance for errors. The project entails moving from an old system of using fillable Excel spreadsheets that had been imported into a Word document to entering data into our existing Workforce Ready system. And Workforce Ready is what South County Fire currently uses to streamline various HR processes, including payroll. The main differences, other than entering information into a software system versus a spreadsheet, or the main differences other than that difference, is that you will have to make entries 2 times per month, but you will also be issued payments 2 times a month. And payments, let's see, at the same time that staff payroll is issued, you will no longer have such early due dates for submissions, which had been forcing you to calculate and claim previous month's activities moving forward, and you had to kind of keep track of that. The other main difference here is that you cannot delay entries on this. You have to do them every 2 weeks. So some of the benefits that I've identified is that it will eliminate duplicate hand entries, wrong dates, wrong calculations on sheets for units and mileage totals, blank sheet submissions, wrong month submissions, such early date submissions. And let's see, that I mentioned earlier that you have to carry over your claims from previous months. Emails not getting to finance, and finance having to secondarily also hand enter the information after you have already entered it and submitted it in. The ease of use of it, I truly believe that it's not very difficult, and there will be an approval process in place, and it allows for more information available through that Workforce Ready process as well, that program that you'll be able to have additional information in there. It's just a user pass to enter the site. I will have admin access and can assist anyone that needs any assistance with that. And basically the bottom line is it advances and improves our system to match current organizational standards of use and utilizes existing technology, which costs nothing extra to implement.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes, I have found the existing system to be simple for me, and but apparently there are some commissioners that have trouble getting their stuff in and doing it right. So, what kind of problems will happen with the next system with someone maybe that doesn't do that right?
I don't feel like I can
Answer the question.
predict the future on that one.
So hopefully this will save a lot of time for the finance and for you. I mean, you'll be doing other things that are better use of your time. That's the long and the short of this.
One of many
One of many.
improvements
Okay.
that I'm hoping for, yes.
Well, I'll support you I'll do my best not to screw this up.
Commissioner Chen.
Yeah, I appreciate that you initiated, you probably heard my complaint so much. Because this is the first time in a place that you have to submit your thing like 2 weeks before it ends. It's really ridiculous. And then also you have to go through manual versus you can just enter into the system itself. So I appreciate very much, and hopefully it will be. Now, the question is that as long as you can submit the data before the day, you don't have to be like only 2 hours for the time to enter it, right? It's not required, like, oh, Friday 4 to 5 you can enter. You can enter any time into the system.
Yeah, you can enter it as you go.
Yeah,
Correct.
okay.
Yep,
all right.
up until the due date. Yep.
Okay, good, thank you.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Is it a kind of a you snooze, you lose deal? Like if you don't get it in?
Absolutely not. No.
Really? Well, then there's no consequence for bad
Well, there
behavior.
is, but it is not
I
designed.
see.
We
You
can,
have a-
there
you-
are ways.
You have a big paddle stick somewhere. Okay, all right.
Well, I guess I want to follow up on that, Commissioner Lawrence. I'm apprehensive about it because commissioners, unlike regular employees of South County Fire, who are engaged in their job 40 plus hours a week or whatever, they're focused on, and they're around a lot to fill out essentially a timesheet. Commissioners parachute in 3 times a month. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a lot of bit more, but at least 3 times a month. And commissioners, many have their own careers and they're doing their own thing. And so sometimes filling out these reimbursement forms is, not the number one priority. And my concern is that this is going to be, there isn't going to be much leeway. So that you've got to be on top of it. And if not, you are out of luck. And so it doesn't have to be this way. We're choosing this way, and it's not very forgiving. And so I'm just not sure that, let's put it this way. I could see complaints from commissioners about, I missed my 2 weeks. Let's do a separate, we got to do a motion with the board or something to pay for it. And it's like, I guess I'm not entirely convinced that our current system is broken. And I appreciate that this is more efficient, and I see why it's, great for regular employees. I think it's maybe a little challenging for commissioners. So I just offer that caveat before we jump. That it is, it may be, you're going to have to be on top of it. And I'm not sure everybody's as focused on South County Fire work day to day as the employees of South County Fire. So I just offer that based on my observations of commissioners and reimbursements over a long period of time. You're entitled to your reimbursement. It doesn't have to be submitted in 2 weeks. We're choosing now to make it 2 weeks. And compared to the past, that's a big difference. So I just offer that. Other thoughts, Commissioner Lawrence?
Paul.
Sorry. Board Liaison Swisher, go ahead.
How soon did you want to implement this?
January 2026.
Oh, perfect. I'll be gone by then. Thanks. That's all I needed to know.
Sounds like a
So actually,
Commissioner Chan, go ahead.
so it basically just go online and enter it, right? Okay, and even if you forgot to put it, you can do it later on, right?
It is difficult to go back and do that, but it can be done. I will be monitoring this. And so if it is not done, I will be on top of this. I'm an administrator for it. And so as I keep track of your submissions now, this
But I
will
think it's
also be-
illegal if just because I put it in late, I do not get paid. I don't think that is how it
No,
works.
no. It will not work like that.
Right. That's what
No.
I'm saying. You said if you did not get it in time, you won't get paid. That's why.
No.
That's why I hear it. No. Okay.
No,
But it's difficult.
But it's similar to the way it is now. If you do
Right.
not submit a reimbursement for a particular month, you do not get paid that month.
Oh, yeah. of
There's
course.
no
Yeah.
automatic
No,
payment.
we understand. No. But
So-
you can later on, just like right now, even though you delay, you still get paid. Okay.
That
that's
is
what I understand.
that is being discouraged, though.
Yeah, as much as you can discourage, but
It-
by law, you have to pay, right?
When you submit. But what we are trying to do is encourage everyone
Oh, yeah, no,
to submit
I
on
totally
the
understand that.
regular.
Yeah. I
Instead of
totally-
delay the submissions.
No, I understand
Yeah.
that, but I'm saying that, you know, by law, you cannot just saying, you know, I don't pay you because you're late. Okay, thank you.
Other discussion?
Yes,
Sure,
so
Lawrence.
this might be, this may not work for various reasons we won't go into in detail. Um, So we could jump back to the old system if we have to.
Yes, we could.
Well, there you go.
Wait.
Commissioner Chan.
This is not a discussion, you know, do it or not. Maybe you can still send it to Melissa to do it for you. I mean, that's no problem on that. It's not a discussion you want to, come on, we got to come to the 20th century, okay? I've been here for 20 years. I'm doing this, haven't changed. I mean, we have to show example to our staff. We changed too, okay?
All right, well, the system will be changing January 1, 2026, and I believe Ms. Blankenship will have some training for us in December around that. So there's more to come, but just I want to be sure we talked about it as a group because it's a significant change from the past, and you will need to accommodate that in kind of the way you think about how things are done. So. Okay, great. And thank you, Ms. Blankenship. Okay, so next up, we have an executive session. It'll be short. Review the performance of a public employee pursuant to RCW 4232-110-1G. Why don't we haven't taken our evening break, so why don't we take about an 8 to 10 minute break until about 10 to 9. Then we'll have executive session I don't think we're going to need more than 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, so that'll be 8:50 to 9 o'clock. Let's make it 12 minutes. Let's do 8:55 to 9:05. And we do not anticipate taking action at the end of executive session. And without objection, we'll be in a brief recess for our evening recess and then reconvene back in executive session. Thank you. No.
The South County Fire regular meeting has been called back to order at 9:05 p.m. and without objection, the meeting is adjourned.